Alrighty, we are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Your New York Knicks lose to the Miami Heat 113. Don't know why I said one like that. 113 to 115. They remain winless on the road. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is going to be an extremely short post game. I am extremely tired, and that game just pissed me off. That game just got me upset. And we could talk about it. And look, the Knicks are winless on the road. But once again, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys over on X. If you guys don't know, we're over on YouTube. Make sure you guys hop over on YouTube as well. Subscribe. But man, appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Isaiah says Cat cost us this match with 2 dumb 3-point shots on that offensive foul. Man, what the F? It sucks because Karl-Anthony Towns had a great look to end the game. But I want to start there. Yes, Karl-Anthony Towns, there was a moment in the fourth quarter where the New York Knicks were pretty much having tons of success going into the paint. Deuce was having success, had a big dunk. Josh Hart was having success. Mikal Bridges was having success. And then Karl-Anthony Towns took these 2 dumb logo threes. 2 dumb logo threes. Does Karl-Anthony Towns hit those logo threes sometimes? Yes, he does. But when he misses those logo threes like he did tonight, it messes up the whole flow of the game. And it sucks because Deuce McBride was incredible tonight. We did the podcast yesterday, and a lot of people, a lot of Knicks fans are down on Deuce McBride. Thank God he's okay dealing with the personal issues. Thank God he was back in the lineup. And he had an amazing basketball game tonight. I mean, to be honest with you, I think he deserved those shots. Maybe not both of them. I think he did deserve the last shot. The shot where he caught the ball and was sprinting down the court, and then had tried the lefty layup. I didn't really like that shot too much, and that is when Karl-Anthony Towns had a great look at it. But did Deuce McBride deserve that shot? I think he did. But I would have loved the New York Knicks to get a better look. And yes, the Karl-Anthony Towns offensive foul, I just think it was a bad game from Cat. Bad game. Don't care about the 22 and 16. The logo threes that he took were momentum plays, momentum swinging plays. I believe after one of those threes, he got a 3-point play, and it just sucked the air out of the whole game, right? And he hits the 3. He gets the Mike Breen bang, right, in the final minute. And you're sitting there like, okay, are the Knicks going to pull this out? Mikal Bridges had a great game. Another big defensive performance from Mikal Bridges for the New York Knicks, right? So it sucks. It really sucks that this New York Knicks team lost this basketball game. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Whoa. Let's get to the screen share. Hold on. Bear with me for 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me for 1 sec. All right, there we go. We got the score in the chat. All right. What you guys saying? Ronald says, this guy is a Kit Kat. What's going on, Ronald? Appreciate you in the chat. Jesse from Twitter says, this was a winnable game. Big Taz says, who said that we don't need Jalen Brunson? Bruh. Man, Disrover, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Disrover says, Josh and Cat's turnovers killed us. Genuinely, and I say this every game, I hate Karl-Anthony Towns. That is from GTM on YouTube. Size 9 says, this was a real good game. Kit Kat, y'all. He is a Kit Kat from Ronald in the chat. Look, you're winless on the road. You're winless on the road, right? You haven't won a game on the road. And in that fourth quarter, yes, Cat 2 dumb threes. His whistle still needs to be studied, by the way. But he's still doing dumb fouls. And that's the frustrating thing with Karl-Anthony Towns. And we fall into this trap. I did it last game, where he's so good at times, right? He was so good last game versus Miami Heat. You fall into this trap of the lore behind him, and you're just like, he's so talented. And then he has a night like tonight where he's playing like crap, fouling, foul trouble, hits the three in the final minute, and you're like, wow, the Knicks can actually pull this one out. But they didn't. Deuce was awesome. They wouldn't even be in the game if it wasn't for Deuce McBride. Timely threes tonight for Deuce McBride. Bridges was awesome. Right? I don't know. I just feel like we could have got a better shot there at the end. But if there was one player I would pick that was rewarded that last shot, it would have been Deuce McBride. Right? It would have been Deuce McBride. So, look, 113, 115, you lose the game. And this one stung because it was right there. You had a lead in the fourth quarter. You could have took control of this basketball game. And then one of your leaders, one of your best players on the team, just didn't play well. He was inefficient all night. One field goal in the first half for Karl-Anthony Towns. Got it going there in the third quarter coming out of the halftime, right? But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough against this Heat team who you knew wanted revenge. Kel'el Ware had a really good game for them and really good game on the glass for them. You could tell that was circled on their drawing board. Mitchell, just, again, game plan. Knicks were heavy zone tonight. Game plan was just drive into the paint, score at will. The Heat's in the paint in the first quarter, especially, they were dominant. And look, you compile that with Jaquez, Fontecchio, 4-7 from 3, 14 to 35 from 3 from the Heat, 9 to 36 from the New York Knicks. And it sucks because, like, we could have won this game. And it would have been one of those games where I would have been like, see, we can win without shooting well. But we lost. We shot 25% from 3. And the game was still within reach, even though we shot 25% from 3. Right? 49 boards. Shamet was really good again. Mitch, 18 minutes, heavy minute restriction. You know, you just didn't get enough from Karl-Anthony Towns. You didn't get enough from Karl-Anthony Towns. And the goaltend at the end, I'm surprised they called it. They obviously reviewed it, and they overturned it. But I would have liked to, like, I don't know. If you call the goaltend, just let it go. Just let it go. But it is what it is. Knicks lose. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Even though the New York Knicks lost the game. Let's get them likes up. 3 likes. Let's get them likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, fair warning. This is going to be a short post game. The final 2 minutes of this basketball game just got me upset, and it shouldn't get me that upset for a game in November, but it did. Look, Mike Brown played Diawara in the first quarter for about a minute, right? And he didn't expand the rotation. He really went 7 until he played Yabusele in the second half, and Yabusele did not play in the first half. He played in the second half. And I actually thought Yabusele was active defensively and on the glass, showing good intensity, communicating. And I liked his minutes on the court tonight, Yabusele. But Mike Brown kind of went 8. And what you're seeing is he's not expanding this rotation. Jordan Clarkson, I thought, especially a really good first half. He was getting in the paint. Jordan Clarkson was at will. Missed threes for Jordan Clarkson. Had an air ball 3 for Jordan Clarkson. No threes off the bench for the Knicks. And it was just one of those nights where they didn't shoot the ball well, besides Deuce McBride. And they were having success in the paint. And I just thought in that fourth quarter, those 2 threes from Karl-Anthony Towns threw them off a little bit, and it threw off their rhythm there in that fourth quarter. Had their opportunity there at the end, but unfortunately, they didn't pull out. So it sucks. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Hit some of your comments. Size 9 says, Yabu was fine. What's going on, Size 9? I appreciate you in the chat. Tiger says, Cat stays in foul trouble. Yep. Stays in foul trouble. And to be fair, I thought a couple of Karl-Anthony Towns calls tonight were questionable. Really questionable. Especially one of them where I just thought was a terrible call. But at this point, I'm grown to accustom that he gets shitty whistles. And he just, it is what it is at this point, and it sucks. But maybe he got fouled there in the final seconds of the basketball game. I have to see. You saw Karl-Anthony Towns extremely upset. This is him ripping his jersey at the end of the game. Upset that the New York Knicks, and he upset that he missed that shot, right? You could tell he wanted to hit the shot. You could tell he wanted to hit the shot. But all in all, I would give him like a C- tonight for Karl-Anthony Towns. Don't think he played that well at all. Man, oh man. Woody says Josh Hart is awesome. What's going on, Woody? Appreciate you in the chat. JJ, what's going on, JJ? Tonight shows why it's okay for Brunson to chuck sometimes. Yeah. Would have been nice to have Brunson close out this game. We saw him back on the bench in the final 3 minutes. You saw him pop on the bench. Do think that he's going to return soon. Maybe as soon as the next game versus the Dallas Mavericks. I think Brunson is on his way back. We saw him practicing prior to the game, 30 minutes before tip-off. He looked good. There was footage of him practicing, so hopefully he'll get out there in Dallas, and I think he will. I think he wants to play in Dallas. Joel, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Joel popping in and out, huh? Joel says, when Cat misses threes, he's a burden, but he's not helping the offense. We need Brunson for offense and OG for defense back and lots of improvement. Uncuffed says, worst game as a New York Knick. What's going on, Uncuffed? You know, I questioned the Milwaukee game, and I said this game. If he would have made that shot at the end, it would have made up for it. Unfortunately, he didn't. But the Milwaukee game was pretty bad in Milwaukee. He's had some stinkers here in New York, and that's Cat, right? Last game, amazing, awesome. Celebrated his 30th birthday. Then he comes to Miami, and, you know, they defend him differently, and it's just it's weird because he has really good numbers in Miami. He plays really well in Miami, and just tonight, I mean, yeah, he grabs the 16 boards, but just it wasn't within the flow of the offense. And when your captain's down and OG Anunoby's down, and the offense looks so good last game, I know you want to attempt the logo threes. I know sometimes you hit them, and sometimes they're like momentum shift plays. Like if he hit one of them, it probably would have sucked the momentum out of the building, and it probably would have been all she wrote. But he missed both, and that's the problem with missing both, right? The Knicks were having so much success in the paint. Josh Hart, Cat even. They didn't have anyone guard Cat. Yes, he was getting fouled a lot. Yes, he's not getting calls, but the referees are not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. They're not, right? And you know, and now the problem shifts to Mike Brown not trusting the bench. Like, why is Mike Brown not trusting the bench all of a sudden, right? Why is he not trusting the bench? Why is he not trusting Diawara? Diawara comes in for a minute in the game. Don't see him. Daddy's not playing. Huck Porty's not playing anymore. Kolek's not playing anymore, right? So kind of hit a 180 here due to all of these injuries. It's kind of weird because when everyone was kind of healthy, you saw the rotation expanded a lot. I know Mike Brown wanted to condense it, and that kind of got the Knicks back up to speed and up to rhythm, learning his offense. But now that you got guys down, the rotation is pretty much the same. I mean, Yabu played the second half, and I thought he was actually okay. Didn't play the first half, so Now he's going to have to readjust and relearn this team with the guys down, right? Diawara played first quarter, had a nice steal that led to a deuce 3. And I'm sitting there like, okay, let's go. Let's get Mohamed Diawara more minutes. And doesn't play. So, but you were still there in the end, right? You were still there. The game was still up for grabs, as they say at the end. But he shot 40% from 3, right? Kel'el Ware was a beast for them. Powell with the fast break layup that Powell made was frustrating in the final 2 minutes. Like, it was extremely frustrating. It was just too easy of a bucket. And I was like, that cannot happen. Mitchell was just driving at anyone that was defending him in the paint, right? Made some tough shots, Mitchell, too. Tough layup shots that you could tell he practices on. So Heat are scrappy, right? Heat are extremely scrappy, and they beat the Knicks. Both teams are shorthanded, but one team was better than the other, and that was the Heat. So appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Your New York Knicks lose to the Miami Heat 113 to 115. I really wanted tonight to be one of those nights that we rewatched because of the game Deuce McBride had. I want to shine some light on him because, quite frankly, he has been inconsistent, dealing with some personal stuff, yeah. But I thought tonight was extremely impressive for Deuce McBride, right? Mike Brown is trusting him as the point guard. Not really the point guard. You see a couple of times tonight. You saw a couple of possessions where he tried to create. Nothing was happening. Josh Hart was frustrated on one of them. But McBride and the back-breaking threes that he hits, I mean, it just unlocks our offense when everyone's healthy. And this was a confidence booster for Deuce, and I feel like he needed this game in terms of his confidence. I really wanted one of those shots to fall. I did not like the running layup to the basket for Deuce, but I think he really deserved those shots. And over time, they'll fall, they'll hit. I'm fully confident in Deuce, but a lot of Knicks fans, like those of you that were watching our podcast yesterday, you saw in the chat that a lot of Knicks fans were disappointed in Deuce McBride. And really, he's been inconsistent. Really hasn't been that, that guy for the Knicks per se off the bench that everyone has been waiting for, right? But tonight, right, was one of those nights, especially that dunk. It reminded you just how talented he is. It reminded you just how valuable he is to this team. And I guess at times you don't really see that motor from him. And I just hope that he could put it together. And I think tonight was a big night in terms of his confidence booster. And it just sucks that he missed both of those shots. So, shout out to Deuce. Shout out to Mikal. The defensive instincts are amazing still. But Uncuffed says Town should have been in the post. Size 9 says the late offensive foul is who Cat is. Lower my shoulder and pray for the best. Bruh. Yeah, didn't like that at all. It's frustrating because he took the logo threes and he goes in the paint, gets the offensive foul, and you're sitting there like, bro, man, it's no need for that, right? It's no need for that. No need for that stuff. Max says Yabu fell off the roster. Play him, right? You didn't play him in the first half, and I thought in the second half he looked okay. And I would like to see him, like, get more open threes. Like, they missed him a couple times in the paint tonight, and that was frustrating too. So, Chris Gotti says, what a bad lefty layup attempt by Deuce with the time on the clock. What was he thinking? Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it, but I think he deserved it, right? I think he deserved the shot. Let's go through the shot again. Let me, where's the shot? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. All right. Let's play the shot. Let's relive the shot. All right. All right. All right, so here's a shot, right? Here it is. Let me rewind it a little bit.
Get a last chance.
Going to his left.
To tie it.
He has the step on him, too. He has Hart in the corner if he wants, but Hart, yeah. Man, this is...
McBride missed it. Towns gobbled up. Loose ball Towns. He missed it. Game over. Miami.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Didn't roll right off the glass. Towns, great look. In and out. Man. Yeah. I didn't like it. But that was a shot that the New York Knicks had, and I think Deuce McBride wanted that last shot, and he deserved it. Just unfortunately, it didn't go in. Uncuffed says Knicks should have won the game. Breakdown on defense. Towns ruined the momentum the second. He came back in the second half. Chris Gotti, what's going on Uncuffed? Chris Gotti says, why Dewar only played 1 minute when there's no OG, and Dewar played good in that 1 minute? That's probably going to be a question asked to Mike Brown. I would like to see Dewar out there. I really would. No OG and an Obi, right? So we'll see. Pacers stinks. There's a lot of questionable calls from the Zebras tonight. Tough loss. The threes just weren't falling. That's the unfortunate threes. The unfortunate thing. The threes weren't falling, yet the Knicks were right there in the game. Like, I mean, in the paint, they were just scoring. Like, I mean, Deuce, Mikal, Hart. They were, having success. Even Jordan Clarkson having success in the paint. Right? And I guess that's why Deuce went to the paint. But, man, I would have liked a better shot. But, yeah, I mean, Tony says, when is this key team going to incorporate Mitchell Robinson on offense? He'd be open for so many layups and alley-hoops. We basically play at 4-on-5. We'd like to see more of that. We saw more of that in the beginning of the season. Kind of shied away from that. So, Mike Brown had another timeout. Tony says, when we had Bridges and Cat, you let McBride take 25 shots. Tony, McBride was awesome, so don't care about the shot attempts from McBride. McBride was awesome tonight. McBride was the only efficient player tonight in terms of offense on this team, right? Was the only efficient player. You see my notes right there. McBride tonight. Nah, I wouldn't call him efficient. 10 of 23, 5 of 12 from 3. Right? From 3. 10 of 23 from the field for Deuce. Bridges was efficient. I stand corrected. 9 of 14. McBride, 10 of 23. And this is something to watch. I stand corrected, Tony. 14 shot attempts for Bridges, right? He was good. Like, he was really good. Why is he only getting 14 shot attempts? Right? When he was, if Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, 1A, 1B tonight, why is he only getting 14? When the Heat had no answer for him, right? So, yeah, that's something to, look, his attempts have been lower. He's not really forcing it. He's taking the shots within the flow of the offense. But sometimes I would like Mikal Bridges to deviate a little bit and just to take shots that that you're confident in, right? Like, there should be no reason for a big shot disparity from Mikal compared to Deuce or compared to Cat when Mikal was having a great game, right? Mikal doesn't really like to force shots, and I think sometimes we need him to force shots, right? Sometimes he's a little bit too passive, and sometimes you need him to be an alpha, right? Sometimes you need him to be an alpha. And tonight was, the defensive instincts to steal on the fast break. I mean, it was turning into one of those games where, okay, Mikal's going to have a big game. He could have easily dropped 30, right? But sometimes he needs to be an alpha and just be like, look, this is my show now. I'm playing really well. I only missed 5 shots tonight, right? Got to the free throw line, right? That's disappointing. I'll give you that. 4 blocks from Mikal. So, come on. Sometimes we need you to be the alpha. Mikal. So, Woody says, love Mikal. Why didn't I sit courtside? I don't got the money for that. And sitting next to DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled was courtside. I ain't got the money for that, man. I ain't got the money to sit courtside. What's going on, Doe? Appreciate you in the chat. Finally caught you in the chat. Appreciate you. Tony says, for me, OG and Brunson with Mikal should be taking over. Cat is not that dude. If Cat is off from 3, he disappears from the game. The problem with Cat is sometimes he's that dude, but sometimes he's a cat. Right? Sometimes he's a cat, and sometimes he gets shitty under the stick in terms of the whistle. JJ says, in games like this, we need Mikal to take 20-plus shots. Of course, in the flow of the game. JJ, I agree. Like 14, I think is too low, especially when Mikal was efficient and defensively he was causing issues for the Miami Heat. McBride was awesome from 3. Timely threes, especially in that fourth quarter. Shamet 1 of 7. Right, we knew that the 30-point game, the 36-point game from Shamet last game was a one-off a little bit, but plus 14 for Landry Shamet, impacting the game as always. And yeah, Mitch hits a free throw. Hey, now 1 out of 2, 18 minutes, heavy minute restriction. And I just think, look, I would like to see someone else off the bench right now, right? Whether it's Diawara, whether it's Yabusele within the flow of the offense, I would like to see someone else, or Kolek, someone else off the bench contribute a little bit. And we'll see what Mike Brown says, but Knicks lose their second game to the Miami Heat. 3 times facing the Miami Heat in what? How many games have we played now? We've played 13 games, and we played the Miami Heat 3 times, and we're 1-2. And I think that's the final time we play them. Don't quote me on that. We may play them later on in the season, but Heat have our number this year. Don't like that. Castro says Cat needs to channel his inner Patrick Ewing. Yeah, man, just be more aggressive, but in a way where you're not flaring your arms so the referees don't call an offensive foul on you. Like, it's no need for that, bro. It's no need to do that. There's no need to do that, man. No need to do that. Josh Hart and Towns have combined 10 turnovers. Can't happen. Patience thinks his Cat 1 of 7 from 3. When Bam is out, unacceptable right after he hit them off for 30.5. Yeah, unacceptable. Unacceptable. All right, guys. I told you guys it might be a short post game, but let's look at the Knicks' schedule, right? Detroit keeps winning, by the way. They've won 10 straight games, the Detroit Pistons. 10 straight games the Pistons have. Crazy. Cavs are back number 2 in the East. Knicks got the Dallas Mavericks coming up. Got to bounce back versus the Mavericks. ESPN, hopefully, I believe Jalen Brunson will return during that game. Saw him work it out. At Orlando, need some revenge. Then Brooklyn, home game. Charlotte, semi-home game, right? I need the New York Knicks to win one out of these next 2 games, right? I wanted them to win tonight, but they got to go into Dallas and take care of business. The Dallas Mavericks, they're good defensively, but offensively they're struggling. And I hope Jalen Brunson's back for that game. But if the Knicks lose to Dallas, look, Dallas is always a tough place to play, right? And the Dallas Mavericks are lengthy. They have wings. They have defenders. And that's something the New York Knicks struggle with. So that's something to watch. At Orlando again, right? You don't want to, continue to build bad habits, but I want to see them possibly win their next 2 so we can go into Brooklyn on a 2-game winning streak and obviously take care of business against the Charlotte Hornets. But, hey, some adversity is good. Hopefully we get Jalen Brunson back. Oh, okay. We play them one more time, December 21st. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Jeez. Miami Heat, huh? Miami Heat. Do we play the Spurs anytime soon? Because Victor Wembanyama is out for a few weeks with a calf strain. No, we play them New Year's Eve. We play the Spurs. I like that. Dis Rover. What's going on, Dis Rover? Grilled says, I can't stand the Heat. Can't stand him either. Tony says the main reason why Kolek should be playing is because he's missing. You're missing the most important position on the floor for this team, which is a point guard. Yeah, and it's honestly a problem that the sophomores aren't playing. Right? They're not. That's telling me that they're not. That Mike Brown and the coaching staff don't think they're ready, because it's the second regime now, right? And I know it's super early. They could change my mind, but they're playing Diawara over Daddy, and we know that Diawara has leapfrogged him. So what does that mean for Daddy, right? He's expendable. I think the Knicks were going to trade Daddy if Brogdon was going to stay a Knick. I think they were for sure going to trade Daddy. Brogdon retires. Daddy is on the team. Daddy is not playing. Diawara jumped ahead of him. They were going to trade him. I don't have conclusive evidence, but I think it's like from his playing time is clear, because Brogdon was going to make the team, right? Brogdon would have been playing right now. Brogdon would have been starting in place of Jalen Brunson, by the way. So let's go get him in Dallas, guys. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, smash the subscribe button. Short post game, guys. Tired, upset, annoyed. Knicks lose. I'll be back versus the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday. Hopefully we can bounce back and get some Jalen Brunson news. Appreciate the members in here. As always, if you want to become a member, just hit the join button. I post videos for the members as well. So appreciate you guys for that. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. I'm out of here. Quick post game. I'm upset. It's still Let's Go Knicks. Peace.
Brunson at 3. Bang! Jalen Brunson does it again!